Hey, hi guys, lilymutamztv, also known as Z, girl from Zambia. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe so that each time I upload videos, you will be notified that Z I post a video. Thank you so much for more than 66,000 subscribers. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the love that you show me on this YouTube platform and Facebook. If you want to join the stream, please join us. There's a link on Facebook and there's also a link on YouTube as well, and share this video. We have somebody already waiting to be part of this discussion. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, let me just change it public. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, I had shared yesterday that last night that the Church of Zambia were planning to endorse Bill 10. And it sounded funny, I know, but I know most of you people have seen the truth now. It has come to fruition. So please share this video everywhere so that we can talk about these things. Hi, Victoria, good to see you. So for those of you who don't know, we have what you call Bill 10, which has been an ongoing debate. I never really bothered about it, but on my YouTube channel and on Facebook, we did a live stream with Mr. Elias Musha, and believe me, it was powerful. I learned a lot. I learned about Bill 10. It's there on Facebook and on my channel. Please go through it. You really need to educate yourself about Bill 10. Please share this video. I already have 2 people waiting to discuss what has been endorsed by the church. So it's like, again, like on Facebook, I didn't want to do a video on my YouTube channel. So let's discuss first on Facebook. And then we discussed on Facebook. And I told everyone it will pick up. That's what happens. It picks up. That's why I'm talking. It will pick up. So we discussed on Facebook that the church was planning to endorse Bill 10. Now, when I say the church, I just don't want it will carry on, because we just started. When I said the church would endorse Bill 10, I meant it because I was given a tip, and the church that was engaged in endorsing Bill 10 was paid. People were paid, and people were not happy about it. So I've got Prophet Andrew, Prophet Jay, and I've also got our other prophet from Zambia. Yeah, it will come up. It will come up. It will come up. Okay. How are you, Prophet Jay?
Good evening. How are you? I'm blessed, thank you.
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. I'll take myself a bit out and bring myself back because of the network, and then, but you can carry on discussing. Just a minute, just carry on. How are you, Prophet Anointed Ben? How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you? Prophet Jerry, how are you?
Good evening. I'm blessed, thank you. And how are you, sir?
I'm good. How is everything moving
so
that
I
side?
believe, no, we are blessed, and we are seeing the mercies of God.
Amen.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I believe I decided to join this evening over the issues that probably our sisters have she has brought to the table, because it is very important also as men of God that we need to add our voice.
Very, very important.
Yeah, because when we remain when we remain silent, and everybody is going to take the side where they say all men of God in Zambia, they are cowards.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's very true. I think
over the happenings that have been taking place in Zambia, it is something that is very painful. And being a Zambian citizen, like I always say, like being pastors, before we realize that we are even called, we were citizens of Zambia.
Yeah.
And this is what most of the people, and especially Zambians, they fail to understand. And they always say, no, prophet, you don't have to voice out on politics and things like that. But before we arise, even our callings, we were citizens of Zambia. And we've got families who are also Zambians. So it is important that we add our voice to what is happening, because we saw today the endorsement of Bill 10 by probably people who call themselves the clergymen. So when people, they say pastors have endorsed this movement, you need what comes to the mind of people and a lot of Zambian is like, it is all the pastors. You understand?
It's everyone. They're just thinking.
So that's why even we are at a time in our country. We are at a time in our country where it will take time and it will take God himself for men of God in Zambia to be respected.
Yeah, I think it's time for them to act. You know, like what I've said. Many people think ministry, like today in Zambia, is a Christian nation. So people think if a man of God voice out in politics, they say it's a sin. I think that's where the problem comes from. And the fear also is something that has killed men and women of God because of fear. Look at Daniel. Daniel was a man of God. He was a prophet, but he was involved in the business of politics.
That is very true.
At one time, they threatened him, but he never moved by the threatened. He stood by the principle of the word, and he was thrown in the lions den. We preach about him. We speak about him every day, and I've come to understand. Like I can quote the one statement Pastor Chris said. He said, "It's not every man of God or every bishop is born again. They need our prayers." You see, so what is happening in our country is something that is a wake-up call. People must wake up. Men of God must wake up. The Bible says when Elisha is on throne, people rejoice. So who is a righteous person? Somebody that is a light standing with God. And it's a disappointment to see that they go with banners and
that
a man of God someone that the president, the leaders must go to him, to he or she, to inquire counsel from God. Not the man of God coming out from their house, coming out from their office, lifting banner to say we are saying yes.
That's true.
That is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. Where is our dignity? A man of God is the one. In fact, in the Old Testament, is a man of God that used to pour oil on the king. You see, a man of God put oil on the king, but now in our time, it's different. Everybody wants the brown envelope and pink envelopes. In fact, pink envelopes has blind a lot of people. And the Bible is clear, my people perish because of lack of information.
It is an embarrassment. It is an embarrassment and a disappointment to the body of Christ.
A very big one. Me, the way I am here, I can't leave my house. I lift banner.
Yes.
Yes, Bill 10. What am I doing? Where is my integrity? It's a shame.
So, you know what happened last night? How are you, Prophet? Last night I came live on my Facebook.
Yes, that is very true. Yeah, because there is no point a man of God can take the banners. Yeah, there is no point. No. That is no.
It's impossible.
Both of you were watching. Both of you were watching.
No.
And
no. What has happened?
It's abomination.
A very big abomination. Okay, what I can say is when you look at
I was watching.
When you look at apart from Daniel, when you look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego,
because what is happening, it is a disappointment.
I think his signal is slow.
Yeah, it's very slow. I think we are listening. Yes.
Yeah.
We are listening. You're saying something.
No.
Yeah, carry on, Prophet J. Carry on.
It is a disappointment. No, it is an abomination. Like I looked at it.
Yeah, you can carry on.
We are listening.
Carry on, sir. Carry on. Okay. I think his network is slow, so I'll bring him back in.
Yeah.
So yesterday I came live on Facebook and I talked about that the church has been paid to endorse Bill 10. And I'm sure many people were just wondering, where did I get this from? And I'm so happy that it has happened. Like everything that I said is what they've done. Lifting banners. And I've just watched a video of an elderly woman.
An abomination.
She's also endorsing Bill 10. Sharon Mali says the church is trying to protest against the Catholic over Bill 10. They are going to fall. We Catholic have been standing for over 600 years. Lily, tell them. I saw yesterday that donations happened in dollar to a church. So it's a shock when you see these things happening. Brother Brian, how are you? Are you in load shedding?
Yes, I'm in load shedding, my sister.
Let's go in Zambia. It's not the thing.
Enjoy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, and you?
Fine, thank you. Tell us what you think of Bill 10 and the church endorsing Bill 10.
The Bill 10, the issue of Bill 10, these churches, like churches that we have nowadays, these churches are like, it has a lot of not profit, but profits.
Yeah.
Yes. So when they just receive the brown envelope, so they are everywhere. You just been told to say, okay, you will give you this, and you go and say this and that. So it's very easy to do whatever that they want. So those guys, you don't have to mind them, because the thing that made them to say all those things is because of what they received, brown envelopes.
Yes.
So those guys are profits, not prophets, are we? Yeah, that's how I can call them, not prophets. Are we? We have real prophets who will stand like Daniel did. Daniel used to stand for the truth. Yeah, but for these prophets that we have in Zambia, are we? I don't know where this country is going. With a lot of prophets, busy, eating, and so so we don't have to mind them. What we have to do is, as youths, we need to stand for the truth. If the prophets, if these prophets, they can't stand for us, then we as youths, we have the mandate. Yeah, we have the mandate to stand for the truth and for the voiceless.
Yes.
So I'm glad that we have other prophets, true prophets, who say no to this shameful behavior with these prophets that we have in Zambia. Yeah, and I applaud the prophet. Prophet there. Thank you very much for standing for the truth. Yeah,
Prophet
it's good to distance. Yes, it's good to distance yourself from these prophets. So it differentiates the true prophets and the false prophets. Jesus mentioned when he was here on earth, he said that in the last days, false prophets shall rise. So these false prophets are the one who are, standing for the government because of the coin they are receiving. Imagine, I don't know, I don't know how much are they been given. Maybe you find that it's 5,000, and they are busy shouting, lifting banner. It's a shame. A man of God.
Imagine.
I don't know where this country is going. It's a shame.
Thank you so much, Prophet Malachi. What do you have to say about pastors representing the whole Zambian church. Auntie Mwaka is saying, Lily, when you say the church, which church? Kindly clarify. They've said the clergy. So
Okay.
Prophet Malaka,
we need to put some churches.
Which church?
Because that's what they're saying. They're saying the Zambian church endorses.
Allow me just to greet Prophet Ben. How are you?
Prophet Ben,
man of God, how are you?
All right. The thing is this. I hope you can hear me right now.
Yes,
Prophet Angel, how are you? And everybody.
I'm blessed, thank you. And how are you?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Yes, Karen, we can hear.
Okay. Lily, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Just carry on.
You know, in Indola, I attend the pastor's fellowship for one particular reason, because I don't want to be cheated. I don't want people to just come up with lies. So these guys, they said they were coming in Indola to come visit the B10. And guess what happened? When they got there, was Bishop William Fuller with his friend, and I don't know, I'm not job with a stomach like this. At Port Bay. These guys came. When they came to that meeting, they came in late. And then they just told everybody to say, no, the bulletin, every other bill is okay, in every article in the bulletin is okay, except for these clauses which are sort of nation. So let's talk about this. Zambia should continue being a Christian nation, not so. And that was it. When we are now trying to ask questions like, okay, really, let's delve deep into this bulletin so we can understand it. They said, no, we are running out of time. We are going to solve it. That's how that meeting was done. But later in the evening, when we went on news, guess what the news said? The news said, about pastors, they are all agreeing to the bulletin. I never agreed to that nonsense. I was in that meeting. I never agreed to anything. I was never given a chance to speak. No pastor was given a chance to speak. But when it came to the news, they actually just generalized it and said, every pastor said yes to the bulletin. And this is exactly what is happening right now. Because sometimes you can just get a collar, put on your neck, and also call a reverend or a pastor. Some of these people not even recognize pastors at all. These are just non-entities, people that are just languishing in poverty. Somebody's paying 200 and then plaque, and they go there. What are you going to say? Put them on the collar on their neck. You are going to call them a clergy. Why? Because they have a collar and something like that. It's not representing us. Like Prophet was saying, like Prophet Angel was saying. Those of us that really dare understanding what the bulletin is. And when we're rejecting it, we are rejecting on the basis that we have fair understanding of what it is. We are just not bluffing, just shouting from everywhere. No, we know what we are refusing. So pity those people that have sought out to go and agree with the bulletin. It's a pity. And my appeal to those of us, especially those of us that are prophets, like Prophet Bernard was saying, he was saying exactly in government, some of these things need real prophetic anointing to handle. They don't need reverend anointing. That's why you see all these people are bowing down to money because they don't have that grace anointing that a prophet has to speak those in those situations. You see,
very true.
Thank you so much. How are you?
So you find that if
Mando.
it comes to issues like there's a crisis in the nation, look at these.
Hello, Lily. How are you?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Prophet Malaka, your network has been breaking on my side. I don't know if it's on my side only.
I can't get anyone speaking apart from you, Lily.
All right, we are able to.
No one is speaking.
Okay, so can I put on my view? Good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I think
no, it's breaking.
I think we need.
I think it's his network.
We need to look at this Bhutan issue very seriously and look at all angles. You cannot call a certain bunch of people the church. It is not right, because friends to Godfrey Sumaili and whatnot, then you call everyone the church. I think it's not right. You know, we have to explicitly identify which church has actually accepted and which has not. Because the biggest church in the world, the Catholic Church, has said it is not agreeing with
exactly. That's true.
And we need to we need to think about this. And the Catholic Church has the majority in Zambia, has the majority population, has the majority. It's the biggest church in the world. And to be honest with you, I feel, on my own perspective, I don't mean to talk on behalf of anyone. I feel personally the Catholic Church does more work for the poor than any other church in the world, because I think it is more focused on and that's why the following for the Catholic Church usually comes from the rural areas, the areas where the people are really voiceless, and usually the Catholic Church speaks for the voiceless. And when it comes out, and it had to take time to read through and check all these inconsistency and come up very objective, because it is not just one person, it's a collective of bishops, and they sat down and they realized, they thought, oh, this thing is not speaking for the people. So that brings me back to the Bhutan. So those churches that are accepting the Bhutan, those churches that are saying the Bhutan is okay, are they saying that's what they want their children or the next generation to come and have? The same thing. You know, because when we are making a constitution, you look at the constitution in America, it was made in 17 whatnot, and it's still there up to now. So this is what we need to think about. When we make something now, we need to realize it's not just for us. It is also for the future generation, even for those that will come in power, to realize, you know, that's what I was talking about, our systems. We are failing to make things that will protect everyone in our country, but just benefit a few, the elite, the Tutu and Nguruwes of this world, and the friends and the PF and whatnot. Why is the segment from the church with Godfrey Sumaili, who say they believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, acting selfish? Because when you read the Bible talks about being selfless. So why is the people in the government that are heading a ministry which talks about the church not hearing to the views of the majority, which are the Catholic Church? And why have they refused? Why have they not sat down with these other prophets, with these other small churches and the Catholic Church, and now talk about the Bhutan? Because they've not sat down. You just come up and open and call one or two prophets, one or two pastors, and say the church has accepted. I don't think it's correct, and I don't think it's fair for the Zambian people.
Yeah, I think I can concur with what you have said.
Okay.
Yeah, I can concur with what you have said. You know, when you look at what happened.
Okay, sorry, Prophet, 1 minute. So, yeah, okay, carry on. Yeah, carry on, no more. Carry on.
Okay. What you have said, I can go at what said. What was supposed to be done, you can't call like, for example, in Zambia, the prophetic ministry is hated. In Zambia, the prophetic ministry is hated. They can't call prophets because they understand the prophets will be able to reveal things which are hidden. So when it comes to the prophetic ministry in Zambia, we have to put an order on, because they don't believe in the prophetic ministry. They don't believe in the prophetic ministry. And that has become a problem. And also the other thing is, men of God, I think we just read one scripture where I said we have to obey our leaders that are ruling us. But we have also to understand, people must understand also that where people perish because of lack of information, the word vision is information. So when people are not able to get information enough about the Bhutan without understanding what is this Bhutan, what is it talking about, without reading everything, because you can't sign. For example, when you go for an interview and they give you a form to fill, you don't just fill the form out of excitement without understanding the rules and the regulation of that employment, that the job that I've given to you. So number one, we blame as men of God. It's very, very, very wrong. As a man of God, like I said earlier, a man of God who God has anointed, has put oil on them to guide presidents and other leaders, goes in the street lifting the banner, written no yes to build 10. It's an abomination to a man of God. Where will be the respect? You see, politicians must come to the men of God to seek counsel. What should we do? What is going in the old time? That's what used to happen. But it's different in our time. Why? Because men of God have lost value. They have become so cheap. When I mean they have become so cheap and lost value, because anybody that knocks on the door, you open. Anybody knocks on the door, you open. They're not going to value you. People must value. President must value a person to say, okay, if we go to this man of God and ask counsel, we are going to, is going to give us information. Is good. Not a man of God. Every day you are the one receiving pink envelope. They give you pink envelope, you put in the pocket. Where will be respect? There'll be no respect. But if you are a person that stands on the truth, they are going to have fear to say, this man is not a man that we can go there. We have to go there to ask for counsel. And when they come to you, they understand to say what we are going there to do. Even if we say anything contrary to this particular person, it becomes a problem. So what we are lacking in our time is because people don't read, don't search. They have to read. They have to get information. When they give you a document, a bulletin, read it, understand every article. What is it talking about? What is it going? For example, if for me today they give me money, or I receive it, I put it in my pocket. How about my children? How about the people that I'm reading? For example, I have a congregation. I learn people. I speak to people. I minister to them. I am a man who stands and speaks to different kinds of people who comes from different kind of nations, different kind of towns, coming to hear the word of God. So if I can speak to those people, I am mandated to speak for them. Either people, if somebody is in opposition, is in ruling party, because I'm a non-partisan, I stand in the middle. And the most important thing that we are lacking now is, like today, what happened? Is it today or yesterday? What happened? It's a shame. It's a shame to us clergymen. We put on collar here, and then we say we are bishops, we are reverend, we are men of God, and lifting a banner and insult.
Imagine.
Insult.
Yeah.
It's an insult.
Yeah.
There are
Auntie Mercy, how are you?
Hello, hello. How are you?
You're prophet. I think for me,
you say, man of God, before I left my case.
Yeah, sorry, prophet. I thought you had ended. The network is a bit.
Okay. Before I give out to speak, is number one. I'll conclude by this. There are so many things that is happening in Zambia. The issue of 48 houses. I don't know if they are called ghost houses or they're called miracle houses. That issue, we need people who can protect people about it. Nobody's speaking about it. There are more issues that need to be spoken about. Why is it that all these things have been closed, and now the issue of butane have risen, and the man of God goes up lifting the banner and to say, even me, I'm saying yes, and my congregation, yes. The first thing is men of God who are lifting banners to say butane, yes to butane. They have to go back to Bible college. That's number one. Number two, they must find somebody that can lead for them to understand. You know, I'm a person that has
banners.
I read. You see, I read, and nobody can come on my face and write to me because I read, I understand what law is. So it's very, very important. You see, lifting banner like that, a man of God. What a shame. Even if you don't have money, it's better you go and sleep in the mountain, you fast. So that at least the anger or it ends in fasting is very, very important. So I can leave others to speak about it, but it's a shame to see men of God lifting banners like really showing us they are lifting banners to say, oh, yes to this, yes to this. We have to understand, what is this butane? What is this document? Is it going to prove? Is it going to protect the the Zambian people give this and that, but there is nothing. There are only few things that they have manipulated. They have manipulated certain things which people are not looking into. See, which is bad. And I think I watched this video clip. I watched the video clip, which is a shame. And I saw another man of God doing like this, like he's speaking in tongues. It's a shame. You see, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's very important. The Bible, yes, we know the Bible, but we should not end just in the Bible. We have to understand certain things. You see, that's why in our country, anybody that speaks the truth, it becomes a problem. I'm not going to speak more about a certain thing that in 2016, when the France Marie called me to our office, I won't speak much about that, but I understand very well what is happening there, and I know what is happening. So it's very important, brothers and sisters, everyone that is watching us, please, we need to understand to say value is very, very important as a child of God. We should not make ourselves cheap, such a way that people that must come to you for counsel, they see you lifting a banner and you say, hey, even this man of God is here. We are not going to go to that person. You have lost its dignity and nobody's going to respect you. It's better people persecute you for the truth than celebrate you for being wrong. It's not good.
Thank you so much, Prophet. We still need you, so you stick around, even if you're in the background. And to Mercy, let's deal with Joe. Joe number one, the other Joe. Joe number one.
Yeah, thank you, Lily.
Joe
I
with
don't know if
glasses.
you spoke to me earlier. My network was a little jittery. I just came in. Thank you. Thank you, all the prophets. Thank you, Lily, and everyone following. Very interesting. Yeah. So my submission is, I think we need to understand what we are looking for here. We are not in a religious crisis. We are dealing with the Constitution. So we are dealing with a document that is going to give us a national identity to who we are as Zambia, what kind of a society and country we want to live for the next generation. So we don't have any church that has a problem with any Zambian. We are dealing with the law here. So the church brings in a balance so that society runs morally. Now, the church was, everyone cried to the church at the start of this process. The church was insulted, the church was called names, the church was vilified, the church was moralized. We've reached this point where the process to reach these recommendations, this bill, was not done in the spirit of the Zambian people. It was done in a vacuum where questions are coming up. And what we should ask ourselves is, why are questions coming up now? Was there any wide consultation? Who was asked these questions before coming up with this bill? So the whole process here was wrong. And if the process was wrong, there's no way you expect to get the desired genuine results. So this is why now it has become very easy to divide the church. The church has been divided. And this is a very, very simple principle of rule and divide. Someone is causing confusion here to mislead the country. Now, I know where the church is being tricked, and I'll tell you the secret. It's because of that preamble of the Christian nation that was included in the Constitution.
Wow.
Now, it doesn't matter whether we make Zambia constitutional a Christian nation or a Christian nation by declaration. Faith is personal. Your salvation is personal. But what we're dealing with here is the Constitution, the document that is going to help us to sign a contract between who is in power and who is being governed. It's the Constitution. That's what everyone has to respect. So people are trying to mislead the church. The church has always been there. The church has always stood for the people. It has always done the best for everyone in every sense. But what is happening now is that people are trying to divide the church so that they can divert the attention from real issues. What we're dealing here is the Constitution. God created Zambia so as the rest of the world for us people to manage it. And that's why the Bible tells us that we were created in the image and likeness of God. And as we think, so we are. So God gave us the autonomy so that we have power over all creation. All these things are in the Bible. We don't have to dilly-dally here and divide the church. The issue is very simple. The church offered for free to take charge of this process. It was insulted. Now, because people are stuck, their tricks can't work. So they know that the only thing that we have, which people can easily be convinced, is to divide the church. The church is not a problem here. Even the constitution itself is not the problem here. The problem is there's people that are not honest to themselves and are not honest to the country. So they want to use the church so that in the future, people will blame the church to say it was the church that supported this. Now, we have to be very careful here. God gave us this world to run it ourselves. So we are not going to accuse anyone if we miss this opportunity to create a kind of society that we want for ourselves and to give to the next generation. The church was there, is there, and will always be there. And the church has done the best. I will never blame the church in general on this, but there's people that are trying to divide the church using poverty, knowing that there's people that are vulnerable to the brown envelope. So if we present an envelope to them, they are going to speak as if they're supporting a wrong thing. This Bill 10, according to me, put religion in it or not, it's wrong. The whole process was wrong. The proposals that are there are wrong. And we are not going to push an agenda on this bill to let it pass because of just that issue of Zambia being a Christian nation. We have no religious problems. Not even the Muslim, the Hindus, the Sikhs are fighting us. No one is fighting the Christian in Zambia. So the Christian faith is not at stake. What is at stake here is the rule of law. Because that is what is going to give us a platform where everything, including the church, the economy, education, everything is going to be stemmed on the rule of law. So we are dealing with the law here, which is the supreme law of the land that is going to give the identity of the country. So let's not be swayed from the real issue. We are dealing with the constitution here. The church is not in a crisis. Okay, there's nothing that is in a crisis here. Actually, what we should be dealing with here is the economy. Once we fix the economy, everything will be normal. The constitution doesn't even have a problem here. Someone created this problem, kept us busy, and now look where we've dragged the church. Look how much we have disrespected the church because someone took advantage of the situation and dragged us to this point. So we are not going to be swayed. We are still going to do things correctly. Even when Jesus came on this earth, he did not come to change anything. He came to put things right and left us this world to manage it ourselves. So we are going to use what the Bible tells us. As we think, so we are. And we are going to think and come up with a society that we want. But Bill 10 is not going to give us any best of our society. We need to come together as a people so that we bind something on earth that will be bound in heaven as well. But not Bill 10. Bill 10 is nowhere near uniting us. It's dividing us. So we need to be very, very spiritually careful. We need to exercise a lot of spiritual maturity. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's great.
Thanks so much, Joe. Let me allow the other Joe because his network has been cutting. Uncle Joe, too, with glasses. How are you, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
Your volume. Oh, Uncle Joe, let me put your volume on. Because he's. Yes, yes. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
How are you?
I'm very well. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Well,
yes, I can.
So I came into this conversation basically to get a good understanding of what's going on with Bill 10 because I'm a little bit naive about it. But I also wanted to raise a few issues about what's been said about, Zambia being a Christian country and also the Catholic being very helpful in the country. Let's not forget about the atrocities of what the Catholic Church has done, not just in Africa, but the world over. So to gloss over what a lot of people, especially in Africa, think that the Catholic is doing is good, is very naive. But in terms of, I think, Bill 10, I need to get a good understanding because, like I said, I'm pretty naive about it. I don't have much of an understanding. So I am here to listen and get educated. And hopefully in the next conversation, I'll have my opinion. But for now, I wanted to join so I could get a good understanding. The other thing I wanted to mention is we keep talking about Zambia being a Christian country. We forget about other religions. And also, let's not forget that religions have committed loads of atrocities in the world. Christianity being one of them, you know, Islam, etc. And also the modern Christianity in Zambia. I think let's not kid ourselves. You know, in as far as I'm concerned, and matter of fact, a lot of people are concerned, is very selfish, self-centered. I don't mean to be rude to a lot of clergy that are on this platform, but I think we overlook the people that we serve. Okay, they live in poverty. We live in big mansions. You know, they ride bicycles. We ride in big cars. You understand? So this is this sort of thing. I think as clergy, you need to address. You have people that have got no money. They live in poverty, and you guys live in lavish. So I think you ought to address that when you call yourselves a Christian nation. And Christians are meant to be Christ-like. And I urge you to reflect. You know, are you really Christ-like? So anyway, like I said, let me get educated about Bill 10. I think I can talk on Christianity and religion, but I don't think this is the platform right now. So yeah, let me hear about Bill 10. Let me get educated, and like I said, next time I'll probably have something to say about it.
Okay. Well, that's
no
good.
problem. Basically, on my YouTube channel and on Facebook, I have the videos. We had a live stream with Mr. Elias Musha, who's a lawyer. He explains it in plain English, and it's really, really in depth. The Bill 10 basically is the current government wants to run for another extra 10 years. That's what it means.
Okay.
So they are trying to change the constitution to suit them.
So we're talking about President Lungu wanting to run for another 10 years.
Yes, that's what it means. Yeah. That's the summary of it all. Is if you saw his post yesterday on his face, like, this is the vision I have up to 2030. I'm like, hello, 2030, what are you on about? Because I'm confident that they've passed the Bill 10, you know, and what they need for them for the Bill 10 to be, you know, what the debates and everything, for it to be passed on as a bill, they need 110 members of parliament.
Right.
And at the moment, they have 89 members of parliament. And they need extra from PF.
Right.
So I think they said they'll need 2 from PF. So if PF members of parliament are paid, then Bill 10 will go through.
What do you mean if they're paid?
So at the moment, they don't have enough people.
If they're paid, you mean
I mean,
corruption?
if they can pay pastors, if they can pay pastors to stand there and hold a banner and say, hello, Bill 10, let's endorse it.
Okay, so these men of God.
What about somebody who's a member of parliament?
These men of God.
They can promise the man of God. They've been paid.
So do we have?
They've been paid to endorse Bill 10.
Do we have some of these men of God on this platform that have been paid to endorse Bill 10 or not?
No. None of them.
No, they
none
can't
of them
come
approve.
None
of them approve.
They can't come.
None of them approve.
Okay, so do we know?
What happened last night was I did a live stream on my.
Okay, do we know of
last
any?
Night I did a live.
Go ahead.
Last night I did a live stream on my Facebook, And I was saying, because I got a tip last night, say, tomorrow they are marching to endorse Bill 10. So I told everybody on Facebook, the video is there, and the video is over 11,000 views on Facebook, because I know that that's where the population is. So I was like, look, get ready. The church is endorsing Bill 10. What do we see? By 1 o'clock, there was a statement on Radio Phoenix. By the time it was 2 p.m., 3 p.m., we've already seen lots of videos and picked out. See how people are holding the banner. So these guys have been paid, because the person who told me is a clergy who was part of the meeting that knows that they've been paid.
Right.
So they've been paid to endorse Bill 10. Yeah. So by them endorsing Bill 10, the members, yes, it's a good thing.
So what cannot the people of Zambia stand up and say this is wrong? Good men of faith, like the ones we have on the platform now. We have men of good faith. We have men.
Can only.
I am saying.
Bill 10 is only done. It can only be approved, voted in. Yeah.
Yes, but people can write.
Only the members of parliament can vote for Bill 10.
We have seen revolutions world over.
We have no power.
Yes, we do. We can't not keep saying we have no power.
Yeah.
We hold the government to account. So as the people of Zambia, I think we can rise and say this is not right. We have seen revolutions in Iran. If you remember, back in the 40s, we had Iranian revolution. You know, in China, they had a revolution.
Yeah.
In Cuba and a lot of countries in the world, they've had revolutions. So Zambia should not sit back and say, because the politicians are saying we cannot stand up, we have to stand up for ourselves.
Yeah.
So we have people.
So now, because they know that everything in Zambia is Christianized. So they want to use the church to say, look, the church is endorsing Bill 10, so let's embrace Bill 10. They use the Bible to rule Zambia, and yet they don't mean well for the Zambian people.
So the Zambian people can rise up and say this is not right.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now. So the church is here. We've just a prophetess as well. How are you, prophetess? How are you, ma'am? Hello, prophetess. How are you? Let's see the volume. Thank you so much, Joe. Prophetess.
Thank you very much.
Signal
Thank
has
you
been
for having me. Thank you.
Hold on, ma'am. Check your volume.
Okay.
Check your volume, ma'am.
Okay.
Take care. Amazing. Thank you so much for. Yes. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, prophetess.
I'm very fine, Lily. How are you?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Fine, thank you.
Yes, you're doing an amazing job speaking up for the voiceless.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm saying you're doing an incredible job speaking up for the voiceless.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am.
So the reason I
thank you so much, ma'am.
I watched you yesterday. Denomination.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Lily? Can you hear me? can't hear. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Yes, I was trying to check if people can hear. I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you heard what?
Yeah, you can carry on. You can speak up. You can carry on.
First of all, I was appreciating you for being a voice. Here in the diaspora. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I'm very about what's happening. And yesterday, when you said that the church have many denominations. So I wanted just to they are not speaking for. We care about the people. We are ministers. The church should be a light. The church should not a church that are easily compromised. That have no standard. We are not a church really. They said. Hello.
Yeah, ma'am. Just carry on. I was trying to make sure that everyone can hear you, and everyone can hear you. If you can just speak louder, I think, but everyone can hear you. I could hear you on the other side. Just carry on.
Yes, and I love what the man of God said earlier on about to read. We need to understand. We need to be aware of what's happening. You know that because as he said, we know we're congregations. We are wrong people. People are so, and we will not compromise. And I pray that must be heard like of Elijah when doing things. Elijah spoke up. You could not buy it. So that's what we want to see among the clergy in Zambia. So those people, let me clarify, the people who were lifting up banners are not speaking for the whole church. Absolutely not. There are so many of us who are opposed to what is happening and are not happy to see our people suffering. It's so sad. Be lifting up the name of the Lord.
Thank you so much, Mom. Mumbi, how are you, brother? Hebert ES, how are you?
Hi,
you want to say
Lily,
something?
How are you? Yeah.
Fine, thank you. Yes. What would you like to say?
In a nutshell.
Brother Ebert is also a pastor, so I don't know all the pastors. You just came on at the same time.
Okay. In a nutshell, I think I'll speak from my own definitely, I think after watching what you had to say last night, then which was confirmed on today by what we saw. I think I did watch it on one of the channels. Definitely, I did not agree with number one, my position on butane is known around, especially those who are close to me. They know that I don't support it in a way because I feel that it is a very unnecessary bill. I think, in my opinion, in my feeling, I think Zambia right now has got no constitutional crisis. So definitely, when you look at why is the Bill 10 being propagated, I really feel that I think there are a lot of political interest in the whole thing. And when I saw the heading, especially on Radio Phoenix page, where they were saying the church has endorsed, I was like, which church are you talking about? Just a few people come and generalize the whole thing and say it's the church. I think that is disrespectful to the entire body of Christ, because the church is made up of many churches. So there's no way one can say, no, the church has said, you didn't consult me, you didn't talk to me, you didn't get my feelings on the whole issue. So I feel that was just a political gimmick, just tried to. I really feel sorry for the pastors who went ahead to do that, because I feel they did not do it from a pure heart, from a right spirit. Because had they done it from a right spirit, they really, really, really would have not gone for it. Because first of all, it's a non-representative bill in terms of just a few people came up with it and went and made it as and are still promoting an agenda of selfish people. But I just feel at the end of the day, the church right now is in a bad place, because it shows you the amount of division, it shows you the amount of the quality of pastors as well we have, because I feel this is a sellout. I feel this is I said a sellout, yeah. I feel this is not right. My heart, I just don't agree with the whole thing. So when I saw that the church has endorsed, I felt that was I think that was extreme. That was extreme. It's not all the pastors who endorsed it. It's not all the churches that endorsed it. And the question is, when did they sit down with the congregation to deliberate with these issues? I don't know any church which starts to say, let's sit, because you say, if a pastor is to say the church, means that he had consulted the people on the ground. But in my opinion, I don't know anybody I don't know which church sat and got, which pastor sat with his church to come up with a position. I really, really don't know. You know, poverty is something that is at large amongst the pastors. So definitely somebody's exploiting their weakness. And this is what we have today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mombi, how are you? Is she? Oh, Mercy?
Hello.
I don't know where Mombi has gone.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well.
Good
How
to
are
see
you?
Very well,
just...
thank you. You know, yesterday I did a Facebook Live. I did a Facebook Live instead of YouTube Live. And I was talking about the church and how the church have been paid to, you know, endorse Bill 10. And people didn't know that this was going to happen. So everyone got it from me. Can you imagine that? I whistle blew.
My goodness.
So now it's like people are just like, yeah, you see, yeah, just last night, that's what happened. So at least I wanted to bring it to YouTube when everything is out. Then at least we have something to reference to say, look, this is what the church is saying. So what would you comment, my sister, about the church endorsing Bill 10? And they're saying the church, meaning even Brother Herbert has agreed, Prophet Andrew has Ben has agreed, Prophet J, all the prophets have agreed. That's what it means.
Yeah, but I would ask, because the government has said the church has endorsed Bill 10. So what is the government's definition of the church? Is it a handful of people who they picked out and paid, and then they're saying those are representative of the church? I think the best thing to do is for those who are in the church, who consider themselves to be part of the church, to come out and tell the truth. If they stand with the Zambian people and they stand with God, who God does not stand for his people to be oppressed. God does not stand for corruption and corrupt governments to be creating an environment where corruption is thriving. God does not stand for that. So if you say you're on the side where God is, you consider yourself part of the church, you need to come out. It's your responsibility, not as just as someone who's part of the church. It's also your responsibility as a Zambian to come out and tell the truth. So we need people from the church who wants to distance themselves, because the government is throwing out lies. I mean, there was the bicycle situation. First, it was, what was it?
Yes.
Japan. Japan's come out and say, not me.
Yeah,
They've
they say
distanced
Japan,
themselves. They've distanced themselves from it because it could tarnish their name. They don't want to be associated with anything to do with corruption. So if you are in the church, you are not part of this, you don't support Bill 10, you need to come out and speak. Your silence means you are complicit in this. So we're judging by those people by coming out, basically. If you're silent, then you support what's going on. You could also see that this was pre-planned, because there was an official who made a speech, who was laying out the groundwork and accusing this movement of spreading falsehoods. I mean, it's like he's living in an alternative universe, spitting out falsehoods himself, which he's claiming to be facts. I mean, what I noticed about this individual, he was speaking very passionately, making a false statement, but speaking very passionately about it and claiming that that was a fact. One of the things he said, it was the guy who was talking about Bill 10. One of the things he said was that it's a well-known fact. This was his statement. It's a well-known fact that Zambians are not ready for change, for regime change. I mean, how is that a fact? You can scream that statement. It doesn't make it a fact.
Yes.
Where is your data? How many Zambians have you spoken to who've told you we are not ready for change? So where is the data that you've analyzed and for you to be able to determine that Zambians are not ready for change? I mean, from where I'm standing from, Zambians are ready for change. They are fed up of the corruption in the government. They are fed up of people who've been neglected and left out, that the government is not taking care of. People don't have access to education, the poor people. Why have you left them out? And they haven't addressed any of the issues that we've brought up. Instead, they have deflected by going to a completely different topic. The only people who resort to doing such activities are those who have nothing concrete to say. They are the ones who try to answer with a non-response, but they make a statement and they want to appear that they've addressed the issue. They haven't addressed the issues. There's no addressing of the issues by the president, saying he will speak to the youth. He will come out and tell us what programs and policies he has in place to look after the people who haven't finished school because they don't have money. They're very intelligent kids from poor backgrounds, but they're very brainy and they get good grades in school. So now they can't go to university. So their hard work is nothing. They don't get a reward for that. Then also this official that was talking about Zambians not being ready for change, I don't know how he determined that. He also went on to say he's very convinced that Zambians are not going to be misled by the falsehoods. Oh yes, of course, I agree with you. They won't be misled by the falsehoods because they can see right through you and your lies. So these people need to be honest with themselves. These are just tactics that they are using, because this movement, the more truth you speak, the more fires you start. And they don't have enough fire engines to put out this fire. So they are panicking. There's a story of a graduate who's exposed, who can't find jobs. What that highlights is the problem of unemployment, youth unemployment. It doesn't matter how hard you work. There isn't an environment that creates opportunities for you. That's exposed. They're trying to extinguish it. Of course. You know, someone arranges for him to have a job. Bill 10 has been criticized. People have called out, you know, where is the church? Why is no one speaking out? They've gone and got a handful of people, given them money or whatever it is that they've used to persuade them. And then they're saying that is the entire church. That is false. This official has also come out and said, oh, Zambians are not ready for change. When you look at the pattern of all of this happening, it's all trying to pave way for another term, for a failed leader. Why do you want to choose a leader who does not respect the people who elected him? He does not respect them enough to grace them with his presence to address the issues that they are complaining about. Why would you want to put that person in government? And this thing of accusing the opposition for the Zambian voices that are rising and speaking out against corruption is a lame excuse. It's a lame excuse and it doesn't work. So screaming out falsehoods and shouting on top of your voice will not make those statements facts. I could scream out and say the sky is brown. I could scream as loud as I can, but the sky is not brown. They need to come out and defend their policies. They haven't done that. Instead, they are deflecting. Also, I would like to point out, because there was a statement saying there's 89 that PF has in regards to Bill 10. They've got 89 people support for MPs. And then and the rest is UPND, I'm assuming. So the rest is UPND. So I would put pressure on UPND.
And independents.
I think they need two.
And some independents.
And they need two.
Okay, so UPND and some independents. Okay, so really and truly then, it is up to them. UPND and the independents, they're the ones who can kill this bill, isn't it? If they say no, it's not going to pass. So what this has created, it creates a situation where we can examine these people. We can examine the opposition and see where do they stand. This is the test. Do they stand with the Zambian people or do they not? If they vote to pass Bill 10, you know, these parties which are not PF, if they vote to pass Bill 10, they do not stand for the Zambian people. You don't need a much clearer litmus test than that. This is it. This is a test. So we want to see who's going to say no and listen to the Zambian people, because clearly a government which is corrupt, they're looking out for their interests. Right now, they're panicking. If there's a new government that comes in, they know they're going to expose all of these people's crimes. So they're trying to hold on to power as much as they can. And they don't want all the lies that they've said to be exposed. They are in dodgy deals with the Chinese. And so they have to hold on to power to keep selling the country because they don't want that exposed. This is what will happen. When a new government comes in, they have to renew the contracts and not recognize the corrupt ones that existed between the Chinese and the current government. The Chinese will be fighting for the money that they have dispensed already to these individuals. So the truth will come out eventually. So this is it. Put pressure on the opposition. We want to see who in the opposition stands with us. Remember, I was saying last time, we're not making it easy for anyone. The reason we're pushing for a debate, we want the current government to defend their policies, which are indefensible. That's why they're not addressing any one of these things. They're not addressing it. Their response to the concerns of the Zambians is, oh, you know, it's a smear campaign. The opposition is involved. They are not involved, because right now, we're challenging the opposition. We're saying, do not vote to pass Bill 10. And this will be the test for us to see who's standing with us. Because they're pushing for this before the election, isn't it? So you will know exactly who stands with you. You will know who a true leader is, who has a backbone and stands for the Zambian people. So if they go Bill 10 way, they are not for the Zambian people, because the Zambian people are the ones who are suffering. That is just what I think on that situation.
Thank you so much, sis. We have Mumbi. Her network keeps on cutting. Hi, Mumbi. How are you? Hi, Mumbi. Hi, Mumbi. Mumbi, how are you? Hi, Mumbi.
Hi, Lily. I don't know if you can hear me. You need to give me a thumbs up as well.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm assuming you are getting me because of the high. Okay.
We can hear you very clearly.
All right. My comment is on my comment is on Bill 10. I think people who have seen me even argue in my political activism, I have been very loud and clear, and I have been against the Bill 10 itself. Not because anybody influenced me, but because I took time to read the 28-page document so that I do not get, entangled in these characteristics that are being created now. I'll first touch the issue of the church before I even come to the issue of those, the disabled, the women and the youth who are crying for something that they have not seen, which is not there because it isn't there. With the church, this is what they should understand, especially those guys that had a meeting today. What they are trying to create is a nation of hypocrites who are not Christians. So suddenly it seems like there is a badge coming with an entitled nation that has a name attached to a particular religion. Now, when you start telling people and forcing them and making it a law because you are inferior to certain things that are not in your society, so you decide to attach religion to that one particular thing that you are scared of, you are no longer creating a responsible citizen, but a group of hypocrites who are coming in the name of a particular religion to look upright in the eyes of the particular God they want to serve. So if we're going to talk about Christianity, look, I am a Christian, I am a Pentecostal. I know what Pentecostals do, but I don't easily allow people to criticize the Pentecostals. I know what we do, and I know when it is wrong and when it is right. Look, I am a Christian. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. And when you start forcing an individual to become a Christian because it suits right for you and your beliefs, then we are no longer serving the Jesus Christ that you are talking about, or the one which is in the Bible, because Jesus Christ never forced anybody. So what you're trying to create is a society of hypocrites who are believing in a particular system, or rather who are agreeing on a particular theme, but not believing in it. Now, we are talking about a God. When I start talking about Christianity, I become passionate, just like the way I talk about politics. When I talk about Christianity, I'm talking about religion. When I'm talking about religion, it's a situation where individuals have an intimate relationship with whatever God they're believing in. Why? Because each and every individual has got a different experience with the God that they believe in. So it is not upright that Christians should force other people to be Christians and name the nation Christian just because they have easily related with Christianity. So when we call people and tell them to follow Christianity because it's something we are comfortable with and it suits our lives and all the hypocritical things that we do and we easily hide under Christianity, it should not be a reason why we should tell people to be Christians. No, because we are trying to encourage people to have an intimate relationship with the God they're believing in. When you have an intimate relationship with a particular God you're believing in, you are going to have a moral ground because you have a belief system that holds you down as an individual. So it's a connection between the physicality and the spirit, and they must interrelate. So once you begin to force somebody to have a particular vision of a God that you see on your own, who's performed miracles that are suiting you, and you want somebody to see the same God in your own particular way, it becomes a problem. You are creating a group of people who are following blindly and not people who are having an intimate relationship with a God. And that's what Zambia is about to do. I read the scriptures. I have seen how Jesus preached the word. He never told anybody, if I leave Jerusalem today, then Jerusalem will not be the blessed land, even if that's wherever, even the land that he was born in, wherever he went to Galilee. He did not tell them, if you do not follow me, you will see. Otherwise, Galilee will be the land of no. He went, he spoke, and he gave people a choice to either follow him or not. What we are seeing is a team of 21st century Pharisees who want to preach the word when it comes to Christianity because they can easily hide in that religion, but do not see corruption as not being Christian. But they do not see a part in the bill that says retirees who have not been paid should still be out of the payroll. They don't see that as evil. They are being selfish because the religion makes them look holy than what they do, which is extremely unfair, because what we are creating is a team of hypocrites hiding behind religion. we should be telling our people to accept a God that they believe in, because they're creating an intimate relationship which creates a moral ground for an individual. But once you remove that aspect and only want them to see a God that you see who's only performed miracles that suit you, you are misleading an entire population, because it's about the relationship between a spirit that nobody else sees, but that which an individual is believing in. So to those pastors, if they can hear us, what they're trying to make out of the individuals that are being brought up in the country is hypocrites. If they want people to be Christians, let them behave like one. Jesus is the one we say we got Christianity from. He never tolerated any type of nonsense. He taught the Pharisees, this is wrong. He did not tell them to say, oh, can you step down? Can you do this? Why are they failing to walk up to the people who are corrupt, to walk up to the people who are stealing? Because we are not accusing them. Look, Abasambira economics, they will tell you there's a phrase we use in economics which says the way a society behaves is a reflection of how an economy is. And we are feeling the hunger. The economy is speaking on its own by how people are reacting. But none of those pastors are standing up and questioning to say, hey guys, what is going on? The economy is speaking on its own by an invisible hand. None of them, but they all have the audacity to stand up and defend a religion, but failing to defend the wellness of the people. That is wrong. It is not Christianity. Christians don't do that. Jesus never did that. He went, spoke upright and told you, you know what? This is wrong. We're not telling them to go and fight with the people in the law and tell them to step down. No, we're telling them they should be open enough like the person they want to claim they're following, because they are not doing that. And in my entire life of being a Pentecostal, I have never been apologetic about telling them off when they are being hypocrites, like what is happening now. And the last thing we need is to create a system of hypocrites hiding behind religion, because the type of hypocrites that have been created through religion have done more to destroy this country than the religions that we want to remove. Because if we ask, we have a way that other religions should behave. Ever since Christianity was declared, ever since Zambia was declared to be a Christian nation, we have had rules and regulations of how other religions should behave. We have rules that have been taught to say, you know what? You can practice, yes, but your practice should not affect how others are living. And most of those have been doing that. Okay, this issue of trying to run away and starting to talk about gay people every time we question religion is wrong. Corruption is just the same as gay people. Look, when I start talking about, now people should understand, I am not supporting gay rights, but the truth is that people who are going to be performing the gayism type of living are affecting only the two of them. But people who are performing corruption are affecting an entire country and an entire generation, robbing the future. And nobody is standing up to tell people who are robbing the future that you are wrong. But everybody is standing up with a lot of audacity to abuse people who are going to perform by what they feel is right, which we are all just going to wait God for to judge us on. So that Christian pastor today who went to support Bill 10, which has got a lot of contentious issues to the citizens, the sin that they're committing to support that is just the same as the same gay person that they are trying to hide to. And it is very wrong. They should stop using gayism. They should defend the country because they feel they believe in the religion, not because they do not want gay rights. And that is why it is wrong, because they are preaching the wrong narrative. They want to give people a vision to say, because we are not conversant with being gay, so that is why we should reject it. No, the case is supposed to be that they believe in this God, okay, and they are finding that this God is right. So when we tell them to defend Christianity, they should defend it based on their beliefs, on their experience with the God, not defining Christianity because they don't want gayism. That is no substance. It's basically saying you don't want sin, of which corruption is sin. So there
Can
is
I
a
just
lot of
add on just a point?
Please,
Pastor, he wants to add. Yeah.
Just a
What would you
point.
like to say?
Yeah, I think if we understand like the way Christianity and politics and everything came by, I think it's very, very important to visit history, because a true historian will tell you that history has always repeated itself. It always repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. And I think what we are seeing today, where Christianity is becoming, it's a tool rather, let me put it this way: Christianity has always been a tool for hypocritical politics. Why? Because a lot of people have not. If you study the way Christianity was, how Rome was declared a Christian nation, a Christian empire, then you try to get the dynamics of what was happening then, and you try to relate it with what we see in our day to day. There's no difference. Why? Because for me, I really believe that Christian faith is a personal thing. And I feel you don't need to impose it on people. And I think there's no biblical basis for us to come up and try and use Christianity for political purposes. And this is why people are saying Christianity has contributed to the problems in the world. True. If you read, you visit history again, you're going to find that it was in the name of Jesus, but they were killing people. You know, it was the Crusaders with a cross on the shield, and there's all this. So I think the moment we begin to push Christianity and for political gain, we begin to murder people, we begin to destroy societies, we begin to promote an evil agenda. At the end of the day, we are going to see that at the end of the day, we're going to have a resentment towards Christianity. Why? Because the way people are perceiving Christianity, even right as today, is like we are in the ministry. People perceive us as maybe people are just after money, or people are just, that type of perception. Why? Because it's been used to colonize poor people, so that those who are using it can continue to enjoy whatever they're enjoying. So like I think it's Mumbi who's really talking. I think she's mentioned a lot of important points in it. I just felt like, I think if we have an historical experience of where Christianity is coming from, by this time, I think we should have been a better people, because we would have understood that Christianity has come from a very dark place at some point in history. And those who are good with history will still argue, and they'll say Christianity is still bloody. And I think as a pastor, as a prophet, my job is to protect the image of Christianity from a biblical point of view, and definitely seeing preachers being used by politicians because they've been promised that Zambia will become a Christian nation. I think Christianity is practical. It's not just theoretical. A declaration to me in that context doesn't mean anything, but I think it's a promotion of justice, is to make sure that the widows and the poor are taken care of, is to have an equal society where people can enjoy life. Yeah, so I feel that is how Christianity would be. Yeah, and I know people will nail me for this, but I really do. I'm one of those who have a very, very peculiar angle on the aspect of Christian nation and politics. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. We have Joe is back. How are you, Joe? What would you like to add, my brother?
Hi, Lily. Thank you. Yeah, I was craving to come back in. This is interesting. So I'm just wondering, the so-called the church that endorsed the amendment bill today, what have they endorsed? Yeah. They have not told us what they have endorsed, because there's a process that's involved here. The bill was initially brought to Parliament, okay, without the church being involved, via the NDF, with all its activities up to where the bill is. The church was never involved until today. There's a certain section of the church, because when we say the church, we must be also very careful that we don't just put a blanket on the whole church. So we are having this little section calling itself the church, which I'm not sure which part of the church they represented or who they consulted, especially that we're in this social distancing time of COVID. So we don't know where they met and consulted anyone. Regardless, we are dealing with the supreme law of the land. And this constitution, when it is amended, it's not, even if it's going to be written in there to say Zambia is going to be a Christian nation, but every other clauses that they're trying to pass in that constitution do not support anything to even make someone feel that they're a better Christian. I'll give you a simple example. Why would you take away a pay to a retiree that has served the country, has served a company, have retired and did their money, and you haven't paid them? Why would you take away a pay from them? Why would you endorse this issue? We are not dealing about who has endorsed it. We're dealing with what is the right thing for the country. What kind of Zambia do we want? And having this section of the church claiming to have endorsed this bill, they haven't told anyone what they have endorsed. They haven't referred to anything they have endorsed. So they are blindly coming to lift placards and denounce others to say they are endorsing this. But regardless, even their endorsement does not matter according to the process of how this law has to be amended. Why? Because there's a parliamentary process which has to go to the 2/3 vote to open the debate. And I will tell you for free, and this will be on record, the reason why part of the parliament that's trying to do the right thing has refused to vote for the 2/3 majority to open the debate, because nobody trusts the current government to give them a key to the constitution and start going step by step on every clause using a simple majority and amend whatever they want. So this is where nobody is willing to give up their necks to be hanged. And we are saying no. This is where, like I said earlier on, this is a rule by divide. So somebody has seen that there's some vulnerable people within the sector of the church that could be used to hoodwink their followers and come in the name of the church has endorsed. This endorsement has no blessings of anything. What are they endorsing? They want to put us into a pit of fire where innocent people are going to burn for the matchstick that did not quench. And we are saying no. I can tell you for free, Lily, God is not even happy with this process, because in the first place, it was not inclusive. So the people that are coming to endorse this now, what are they endorsing? On behalf of who? What are they endorsing for who? Is this the kind of constitution we want to give to the next generations? No. So the church here should not damage the entire fabric of the church. And I'll tell you, there will be spiritual consequences to this, because already there's division that has been caused out of this so-called endorsement that people are claiming to have endorsed on behalf of the church. And if you read the Bible, it's very clear that anybody that sways a child of God from a life of being a child of God is worth being tied a very, very heavy rock anchored into their neck in the deepest sea. And this is what they're trying to do here. They're trying to mislead people that are innocently not very well informed. A lot of people have not read this bill, and a lot of people are just, dying in the narrative of whoever doesn't support the bill. This bill is not curing the Christian faith. No, we are making a constitution for the whole country. So even the sentence of being Christian, it's just one clause. And we are not in a Christian crisis. We are not in a religious crisis. So I'm at pains to understand why is that part of the religion being the bigger issue, when the actual contentious issues that are against the people are 99% of this bill. So so God is not a magician. God left us this world for us to manage it. And it's either we mismanage it or we manage it. That's what will determine where we are going. God is created all of us in this world. No one has a monopoly to own God. No, God is for us all. But we have the ability, we have the opportunity God has given us to make a society that works for us. And that's why the Bible tells us, for the lack of knowledge, people perish. So as long as we're not going to appreciate the word of God to exercise knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in this process, we are going to create a self-doomed society, and it will be very expensive, and it will take too long to reverse this. So we have to stand on the right path. It doesn't matter how little the number of the people are that are right on this process. Whoever claimed that they endorsed anything, as a Christian, they did not endorse for me, because I believe that 99% of what they endorsed is not in the good interest and the spirit of Zambia. So I'm sorry, they did not endorse for me. They endorsed for their envelopes, their pockets, their bellies, and themselves, not for me. No, thank you.
Yeah. For those of you who are my subscribers or you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I've just shared a live stream that I did on my Facebook page yesterday on my YouTube channel so that you can catch up and just watch. When I got the tip last night, I did a live stream around this time on my Facebook page, and I was just telling all the Zambians that tomorrow they will be protesting against the Catholic Church, and the Christians, the church will be, I'm a Christian by the way, will be endorsing the Bill 10. And it sounded like, oh, is she telling the truth? Today, we saw what's been going on. Let me just read a few comments. Clarence Kime says, in truth, a new way of worshiping the divine is coming. The old ways have filled the people. It did, however, accomplished its purpose, but that time has passed. The divine himself disrupting this. Nola Vought has commented that if I was that unpopular as a president, I would withdraw myself out of sheer embarrassment. And then Shenda on Facebook has commented that that is the church involved. Yes, the church has been involved, and that's what the current government is trying to use. Zambia is a Christian nation. Let's pray for Zambia. We love, God so much, and everything we do is focused on God, and yet the Zambians are suffering. The 18th of October, for those of you who are not aware, on my YouTube channel, we always have prayers. They call it the National Day of Prayer on the 18th of October. And the prayer is to pray for the nation. And whilst we are praying and fasting, the government is stealing gold. They are making deals with oil. They are making all sorts of deals, and the Zambians are suffering. Joe, do you have anything to contribute, please? You're back again.
Well, not really. It's just been, I think, insightful for myself to listen and learn about Bill 10. Because obviously I wasn't, very much aware of it. But in terms of the church and its involvement with the government, I think that's really depressing. And I think to myself that Zambian people need to rise in terms of civil disobedience, galvanize themselves and say that this is not right. Because we cannot have a government or rather politicians that are in bed with corruption, the Chinese deals that are going on, the oppression of the freedom of speech and expression, poverty, just to name a few. I think Zambians need to stand up. They need to regroup. Even within the Kaunda era, the Frederick Chiluba era, we had better governance. It wasn't very pretty, but people were okay, as far as I can remember. But I think right now, when I visit Zambia, I see a lot of people suffering, and it's not good to see. So every decent Zambian, I think, need to think and sit down and say, like, this is not right. Something needs to be done. And the little that I've learned about Bill 10, I think we should, in all our powers, make a stop to it if we can. And I'm pretty sure we can. And the church or churches or Christian churches, because I don't hear of the Muslims or Buddhas of Zambia or whatever, they need to be ashamed of themselves, to be supporting something that is so morally wrong. They need to be ashamed of themselves. So like I said earlier in the program that, I need to learn a lot more about the Bill 10. So next time we do have a chat, I can probably make a good argument of it. But thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to having many more conversation about our beloved Zambia.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So I've just received something from my Catholic, I have lots of subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I've got some amazing Catholics that, love my channel. So according to the Catholic statement that was issued with regards to the 2016 amendment of the Constitution, they talk about that, yeah. And they talk about the Bill 10. And one of the concerns, I'm just going to read 2 points. Aware and concerned, I think so that you should see what the Catholic is standing for the Zambians. Honestly, maybe I'll try and put it somewhere where we can share. So basically, they're saying aware and concerned about the dwindling levels of vigilance among Zambians in general as they continue watching and saying nothing on the increasing incidents of human rights abuse, political violence, high levels of corruption, poor observance of rule and law, and now the manipulation of masses over Bill 10, exhibited by those who have taken it upon themselves to popularize it, which is the church. So the church is trying to make it popular, and they've taken it upon themselves, and the concerns of the Catholic Church is that our human rights as Zambians are being abused. So you see, the Catholic are actually on our side. Meanwhile, the church, the ones that have stood up to represent the whole church, they represent themselves, but they're saying the church, they are trying to make it popular. And the second point is having undertaken a comparative analysis of Bill 10 and the parliamentary report on the same bill and the current amended Constitution of 2016. We not about Bill 10, it contains some progressive clauses. It also contains some retrogressive and highly contentious clauses, such as the provision for deputy ministers for changes in the electoral system, where the president run forever, regarding the mayors, councillors, chairpersons, members of parliament, and the president, and the proposed revision of the composition of cabinet. So that's why they want to change it. Imagine having woman for the next 10 years. I those of them go. Honestly, and then the other point, find a way of sending it to everyone. It's got a lot of things. So he's saying, in conclusion, we hereby make our earnest appeal to the conscience of all members of parliament across the political divide to respect the will of the majority of Zambians and immediately withdraw the said Bill 10 from the floor of House. Honestly, let's clap for the Catholic. So the Catholic Church is actually asking for the Bill 10 to be withdrawn, whilst some paid pastors, the ones who are on payroll, they are now shamelessly defending Bill 10. What would you like to say, Mumbi, about that?
Yeah, so I actually read through what the Catholic says, and it was pretty much interesting because they said exactly what the Zambian people are experiencing now and stressing it out to say, what, this is what is affecting them. Look, they are not speaking because they can, but this thing is not only affecting our social life, but even our psychological life as individuals. If we are going to talk about development in a country, we should be ready to have a citizenry that is also mentally stable. So when you start introducing such abuse, I am very sensitive when it comes to how the mind operates and how the mind reacts to the environment you expose it to. So those things that were mentioned there are really affecting individuals in different ways, and we are beginning to mess up with the emotion and the mental stability of individuals. Ngapari sana panganda, the last thing you should do is poke those who are there. A hungry person is an angry person. You know why? They do not have a moral ground to hold them down. They do not have food. They do not have basic needs. They don't even have the monopoly over their own basic needs as individuals. So then you begin to poke them. You begin to affect their psychology. You see why it is so easy for young people to involve themselves in political violence these days? It's not because they just want to defend, no, but their mentality has been affected by failure to have monopoly over basic needs, and somebody has instead capitalized on that and left the situation deliberately because it's working good for them, which is extremely sad. So now they've picked the same group of people, and then they go to the next vulnerable group, which is the women, because women are usually very vulnerable in most cases. They pick the women, then they pick young people because we are hungry and we're dreaming for a better future. Then they pick the disabled, put them together, no kusa to no built-in na iremi pera ma opportunities ya finto for tamlemona, which is extremely unfair because there is totally no word on that clause. I think should be 9. There is totally no word on that clause that says youth, women, or disabled people. And this is the point I want these people to understand. When you read the Constitution, people should understand that the person who is in power of appointing, meaning including the president and any other person in public office that has the power to appoint, do you know that they have rules that they must follow when appointing, and they're written in the Constitution? And one of these rules is to ensure that there is gender equality, making sure that a 50-50 type of picture is put in place, and consider a group of young people, as well as consider people living with disabilities. So if they really wanted to do that for us, they would have been doing it before. This is a trick, and this is why I keep telling people, especially the women, the young people, and the disabled, that this is a downward carrot, because the Constitution has already told those people to put that into consideration. And one of those people that has got the appointing power is the president. When you become a president, you've got the appointing power, and this means those rules also apply to you because you are an appointing person at that particular time. So you must consider people living with disabilities, you must consider women, and you must consider young people. So where are they putting those articles if now that is when they see it as necessary? Apart from that, for the young people specifically, if they do read, because setting a fine. When you read the National Youth Policy of 2015, which was signed by Honorable Vincent Mwale, by then the Minister of Youth, that's in Dabe, because I decided on behalf of government. And it's in this same government where himself, His Excellency, is right now. It is still under the PF government. So that policy, the National Youth Policy that he signed, is still running within the period of the PF. He found it, and it must be respected. Okay, that National Youth Policy, class should be 5, 6, 7, clause 5, 6, 7. When you read those, they talk about 3 things: inclusion of young people in governance, not only in governance positions, but also in decision-making processes. So you hear not only the position, but also in the process. And on the second part, it says young women and women in general must be considered for this position. And thirdly, it says that people living with disabilities must be considered. Now, this is a document that was signed by the same ruling government, and they haven't exercised that power. And this is what I keep telling people: if they wanted to do it, they would have done it. But even if in the existence of the Constitution, given these rules, and the National Youth Policy making sure that these rules are here, and there are a lot of other things that they have signed. When we start talking about the if I can remember, is it the Maputo Convention, if I can remember, they were signing to such things. They were sending representatives to go and sign on behalf of Zambia for such things. If they wanted to do it, Lily, they would have done it. So they are not interested. It's again, it's a downward carrot. That's what I keep telling them. It's a downward carrot. Don't fall for it. The Constitution has already put those rules, and they're already not doing it. So we shouldn't fall for it. And this is the other thing people must understand. When we begin to talk about the bill, the conversation should not be around PF and UPND. We should stop it because it's going to affect citizens. Because look at this: if today Bill 10 passes and the UPND goes into power tomorrow, what is the guarantee that the UPND will say, let's change the Constitution? Do you know how sweet it is to borrow money without the opposition, Why you just say, but this step, they're arguing against us. So let's borrow money without them. Do you know how sweet that is? It is very sweet. Do you know how sweet it is to stay in parliament for 5 years without dissolving it? So imagine if you place such a constitution and another team comes into power. Politicians, as we are speaking, these people, so when we are speaking about the bill, we should defend it because it's going to affect us right now, how we are going to operate as a country. And it's going to do it, and it's going to affect a lot about how we're going to respect the rule of law, at the same time wanting to explore our internal potential, which is going against the law. But about where all the placards were written about HH, I was very surprised. It is surely showing that people are baseless about the conversation.
Can you imagine?
Should be. They are baseless. The entire reason why they are refusing the bill is because HH is refusing. What is that?
Imagine.
Why? The conversation is that if that bill passes and tomorrow Harikalawa comes into power, he has not given us a guarantee that he will want to return it back to the normal bill. Tomorrow, if Chimbakambwiri goes into power, tomorrow, if HH goes into power, what we're saying is that the bill is saving whoever is in power to have utmost power over the people. Not Lungu or HH or CK or Kalaba to have utmost power over the people. No, it's saying whoever will be in power will have utmost power over the people, and that is going to bring social and economic imbalance. In fact, not to break, but to widen the gap on social and economic imbalance, hence increasing inequalities. Once inequalities increase, the entire economy is down. The economy is only as strong as its individual citizens are. So once we increase inequalities, the economy is down because there will be more citizens being government dependent, and the government is having so much power and cannot consult its people. So we must put clarity on that. So what's about the other lady? We are going to push this bill to a point where it will pass. Okay, and when it passes, we are going to be in a very dramatic state because it's going to be freedom within you as an individual to behave like a normal person and explore your potential, and then fighting against the law that is giving you limits to something that you internally possess. So people must change the conversation around the bill. It's not about PF. We are only talking about PF because they're defending it and they're the government and they were the proposers of this bill. But the general conversation should be that whoever is in power will have the utmost power over the citizens, which will broaden the imbalance. And once we broaden the imbalance, meaning inequalities has also grown. And once inequality grows, then it means our economy has gone down. And when an economy goes down, in short, we are dead if it passes.
Wow. Thanks so much, Carla. How are you?
I'm fine, Lily. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How have you been?
Yeah, okay.
What would you like to say about what's happening?
Well, there are a lot of issues I have, but we'll save them for another day. But for today, well, the first thing I can comment is we should not even go to a place where they will start discussing it in Parliament. Because as we are saying, did you say that they only need 2 more people, like members of Parliament, to be on their side? So you never know, because already, as we know, that corruption is just too high. You may never know who will be given a fat brown envelope. You get the point? So we cannot risk, because when we risk that, then it means that Bill 10 can be able to go through. And that place we don't want to reach, because when we reach there, that's a point of no return. For example, one very important thing that I read in the Bill 10 that would be very detrimental to our democracy is that when it comes to political parties, they are saying that a political party shall have a national character. You say it shall promote and uphold national unity. So, for example, most of the political parties, before they come to the national platform, they start first locally. So are you telling me that which political party will be able to apart from the parties that are already established now. So look at 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it will only be the political party in charge that will be able to continue, or maybe UPND, because right now they are the only ones that are kind of national. So that, what will that do to Zambia's democracy? People will not be able to form any political party as they want. So that we shouldn't even go that side. So I'm really proud of the ministers that are standing up, the MPs that don't even want this to go into a discussion, because as we are saying, it's really, really bad. Of course, there are good things. We are not going to say that everything in the Bill 10 is bad, but the bad things are really bad, such that we won't be able to recover from that, and we'll go back like 50 years backwards. So that's my take. And then also I saw a little bit of the demonstrations that was done today. So I'm wondering, is it only PF that can do demonstrations? Isn't it just for a few days ago or last week when they jailed a few, what was that, UPND members because they wanted to have this protest? So but they can have a peaceful protest, but nobody else. So as you can see PF's characters each and every day. They are showing it to you. Like, that's why they say if a person tells them who, they show you who they are, believe them. Don't think that, oh, maybe they'll be better tomorrow. But like right now, they are showing us day by day, they are showing us signs that they are not concerned about the people. They are not concerned about freedoms of people. Who allowed them to protest? They did their protest, their demonstration. They shot their banners. Nobody said nothing. But then, if the youth want to do that, they are saying, "Oh, we have to detain you," or whatever. So, can you imagine? So, if they'll be the only political party, they'll say, "No, you cannot be a political party. You cannot join because you are just in one province. You are just in two provinces." But how are political parties born? They are born like that. So if Bill 10 goes through, then you are saying to PF forever, and then UPND, after some time, people will start deflecting. As we have seen, people are just like political prostitutes. They'll just deflect to the other party. And after 10 years, we will not have any other political parties in Zambia. So that's why we really, really have to see to it that it doesn't go to discussions. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Carla. Joe, if you want to conclude, and Mercy, so that we can go now. Thank you so much for your contributions. Obviously, not sometimes these live streams are planned. I know most people want us to do them at 6 o'clock, but the latest news came.
Okay. Let me just run away. I will not end with you. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me this platform. You. So I'm running away. I'll see you on another one.
Yeah.
Thank you. We need to plan a live stream. No, tomorrow, Mumbi, you need to join us because we're going to have one earlier. We're talking about the voting, which they've talked about that we can only register in October. So we need to talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow from.
All right, sure. Not a problem. I'll follow you up on your page and see what time you will choose, and then we'll come through to share the word with our friends.
Yeah,
no problem. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Mercy and Joe, your conclusions, and then we go. I've seen somebody who's logged in and written my name, and it was a bit scary, but let me see. The person at the bottom. What would you like to say?
Oh yes, thank you, Lily. It's been very interesting from you and everyone, and I think this is where we have to think about how posterity will judge us, and this is where we have to think about the future of the next generations, because this constitution is not working in isolation, just in parliament or in the political, actively political people that are politically active. But this is a constitution that is going to govern the newly born person, the person on a dying bed, the person that's enjoying the best of their lives. So basically, everyone will be affected by every single changes that are going to come out of this amendment. And so far, having looked back through how the process was not inclusive, how the process was not widely consultative, and because there are fundamentals to making a constitution, which mainly the top three. A constitution, when it's being made, there has to be inclusiveness, there has to be consensus, and there has to be wide consultation. So you can't make something and then take it back to the people. Actually, not take it back, take it to the people, and then try and force them to accept it when you did not consult. So so process protects content. So we can't keep on doing shortcuts. This is why we end up hearing, bikes have been donated, they have been paid for, this country is named, this country distances itself. We're in disarray. Let's come back to normalcy. Let's fix the country. And if we don't fix it now, a lot is going to go wrong, because already substantively much is gone wrong already. So going forward, I'm praying so much that the number of, this is not about numbers of parliamentarians, this is about the Zambia we want, because MPs are just human beings that come from societies where we come from. But we need to support them, those that are standing for the right cause. Let's pray for them, let's encourage them, let's support them, and let's have hope in them, and let's give them the reason to believe that we stand in the right spirit of the country, and we want the best for the country, so that we can have a country where people can voice their opinion, they can positively contribute to the country without fear, without intimidation, and with peace. Thank you very much.
And I would like to add a quick comment.
Thank you so much.
Why the rush? Why the rush? And as you can see, they even made mistakes. There are some mistakes in there, typos. Like when it comes to the constitution, you are amending a constitution. You have to really proofread everything and make sure that everything that you have agreed upon should be written point blank. But they are making mistakes. Like, for example, 14 days instead of 30 days. That is very important. So they are rushing everything. So one has to ask why.
Yeah, they are in a hurry because obviously you know that the elections are coming up as well next year. So they want to make sure that they have a place for themselves continuously for the next few years. And the thing is, today I watched a video. I'm actually going to talk about it on my YouTube channel, like a separate video, where Bowman Nusam was giving, I don't know whether it's pies, I don't know, it's food, and then the youths were there grabbing, collecting. And I'm just like, is this how they want us to live, where we depend on them? No empowerment, people are struggling, and it's normal for them. And we just have the wrong leadership. They don't care about us, they don't care about us, So thank you so much, sis. So the agenda of Bill 10, obviously, we know that is for their own benefit, and the loans that they've signed up with the Chinese, and the Chinese as well will benefit from that. Ernest is saying these are some Judas in some churches in Zambia. Shame. Cassie Lee is saying she thought the church was against Bill 10. No, the church, the Catholic Church, yes, but the other churches, some, yes, but some have endorsed it. So thank you so much, Mercy, Joe. And tomorrow we have a live stream. We'll start at 6. I was obviously resting. I've got videos that I need to edit, and it's hard work. But thank you so much for your contribution.
Sorry, can I just add something quickly before we go?
Yeah, no problem.
I just there was a good point that was raised, that we need to make sure that this bill doesn't even go up for discussion. What I'm interested to find out is what options are available now, because so that it is prevented from actually going into discussion. Is there anything available, or are we past that point now and we need to be looking to other people who have it within their power to make sure that this doesn't go, that the bill doesn't even pass. So I would assume
Joe can answer.
From my understanding of parliamentary proceeding is that the reason this has been contentious is because there is need for a 2/3 majority to open that debate. Because when you open that debate with a 2/3 majority, it means every other individual clauses that are being debated gets passed with a simple majority. So as it stands now, the ruling party cannot use simple majority because they need 2/3 majority to open the. So it's like it's the key to get into the constitution and start talking about what's inside. So that key is being prevented with the 2/3 majority not being guaranteed. And that's why you're hearing there are 2 more MPs, 3 more MPs. That language comes in order to open the debate. And once the debate is opened using 2/3 majority, now they can do whatever they want with simple majority on every single clause. So this is where the other part of parliament and the majority of Zambians cannot trust the ruling party to give them that key to go into that debate, because once they're in there, it's like a thief was entered into the house. They'll do whatever they want. So your orphan, or rather your grill door, is what is preventing them. So the grill door here is the 2/3 majority, which they don't have. Once they open that grill door, they're inside the house. They'll eat whatever they want. They'll do whatever they want. So this is where the whole thing is. And looking at the nature of this bill and how it came about, it has no blessings of the majority Zambian people. So the simple thing is withdraw the bill and take it back, consult the people, and then come back with something new. And just to add on to that, there is no other way in terms of parliamentary proceeding that you can amend something without it being debated, because the so-called recommendations are not guaranteed to be accepted in parliament. They are just recommendations. But what is being debated on, according to how parliament works, is the original bill. It's not the recommendations. This is why people need to be clear. They're not going to debate the recommendations. No, when the 2/3 majority vote is secured, they'll be debating the original bill that has everything that has angered the Zambian people, not the recommendations. The recommendations in a jurisdiction of the speaker not to accept them. There have been recommendations before that have not been accepted anywhere near the parliament, the floor of parliament. So people need to know that what that endorsement means of these so-called churches today. They are endorsing the original bill, not the recommendations. And nobody can bring in those recommendations through a shortcut. It has to be whether the speaker accepts them or not. And if they do get accepted, it still has to, there's still a requirement for that 2/3 majority to be secured to open the debate. And that is what the other part of parliament is protecting the country from allowing it to go, because they are not sure which clauses are not going to be removed or included. This is what the whole problem is. So the best thing is throw away this bill. Let us deal with important issues. The country is ailing right now with a lot of contentious issues. And we have diverted the whole energy of the country to something that I don't know what they want.
They want to be
basically to get the 2/3, because there was mention that they've got 89. So when we say they've got 89, what do they have? Is it a signature? Is it people who are supporting that this should go for discussion, and then they need more numbers to get to the 2/3?
I think this comes from the original when they originally opened the debate. They had the number. Of course, probably the whole ruling party voted for it, and a couple of here and there, maybe independent and all that. But all the UPND MPs initially had walked out. I think they're 56, if I'm not mistaken. They walked out. They need at least 111, 112 MPs to get the 2/3 majority, which they can't get. So, but the whole fear, the whole fear that is there is that once they are allowed to open the debate with a 2/3 majority, then to debate each of these clauses that people are complaining about, it requires simple majority. So it will just be like, okay, we take out the pension, the salaries for pensioners, yes, out. We bring in deputy ministers, yes, the simple majority. So all those individual ones, once they are voted by simple majority, you can't reverse them. So the whole thing is to protect the country, throw away this whole bill 10, and let's look at something that matters to the country.
Okay, so for us to get them to throw it away, what do we do? Are we just speaking out?
They should not have the 2/3 majority. Is the only way. They shouldn't have the 2/3 majority. So those that are not giving them the 2/3 majority should continue not to give the 2/3 majority, so that the debate is not opened and this dies a natural death. It goes in the dustbin, and then the country can look at important things.
Okay, so I guess our eyes then should be on those that would give them.
We need to support the ones standing for the right cause, the ones that are preventing the 2/3 majority, because that's all they require. There's no shortcut in parliament. That's why this issue of having regazetted and print out the regazation that they've done, that's an illegal process. They are supposed to subject that bill to the 2/3 majority vote to open it, because right now they can't debate it, because they have to open the debate. They have to accept. So to that 2/3 majority is a consensus. It's accepting to say, okay, let's open the entire constitution and debate it. Now, it is very risky in this environment to open the entire constitution. It's risky because of the amount of untrustworthiness that is trickling around right now in this governance system we've got. So no one can take that risk. That's why the best is the other part that is preventing the 2/3 majority. Let them stand with the Zambian people. Let this be. We are not in a hurry. The question I'm going to ask is, we are not in a hurry with Bill 10. If this Bill 10 is withdrawn tonight, no one will die in Zambia. Nobody.
No.
We're not in a hurry. So I don't know why there's this rush. Because there's this rush, because I'll tell you one thing. If this Bill 10 goes through, the delimitation process that will be given to the to executive powers, they will wake up and create a lot of constituencies in their strongholds and create more, probably over even 150 MPs. Then the 2/3 majority will not care how many UPND are there. You know, it will just be automatically 2/3 majority. But then we can't have a country that doesn't have checks and balances. We need an external audit into every organ of governance. So this is why we are saying Bill 10 is not in the spirit of the majority Zambians. There is a section of Zambians that I don't know what they think they'll benefit from it now. What I'll tell you is, look at this. If this bill goes through, like Mumbi was saying, and then Kambwili comes into office, or HH comes into office, or Tayari comes into office, how safe are the other opposition parties going to be?
Yes.
That's a question people need to think about.
Yeah.
It's not about ruling now. It's
we don't know if they're gonna win. It's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's whoever wins takes all for I don't know how long to come. Because it's ripping away a lot of powers from parliament. Even you can imagine, even the central bank will be ripped off of their power to control monetary policy. Meaning government can just wake up and say, we are printing money. We are printing money, more money, and inflate the economy. So everything is not in the interest of. I want someone to tell me one clause which they'll say this clause is in the interest of the Zambians. I haven't seen any clause there. Even the
I doubt they would do that. I mean, they're the same who can't defend their policies at the moment. So to even go to that extent and bring out a clause that they'll say, yeah, this will benefit Zambians. Historically, for this ruling party, they're not in the habit of defending anything or saying it's in the interest of Zambians. So I doubt they would do that.
Even the part of their religion, we are not in a religious crisis. No person of faith has complained to say, oh, because we're not constitutionally Christian, we are not faithful enough. No one has complained.
But you know what? Why they are so smart? They are smart because they know that Zambians right now, a lot of Zambians are very religious. I mean, like they're so religious that they cannot separate certain things from, they just believe everything. Oh, yes. We just have to leave it up to God, like turn a blind eye to things that are happening. So that's why they're really using it. And they know people are so passionate about being Christians, so much that if they put it there, well, they're going to get the votes.
So every trick in the book, basically, they will use it.
The whole idea is me bringing you 9 packs of poison and one pack of corn ice cream. So just because there's 1 pack of corn ice cream, I won't make you eat all the 9 packs of poison because you'll be dead anyway. So this is where we're headed. So all we're saying is, take away your presence, sir. I'm sorry, I would rather stay hungry, but I'm safe and healthy. So this is what the country is saying. You didn't consult us. Ideally, the government is supposed to go to the people, not telling the people come to the government and form, this bill. No, the government, the people pay tax, so the government has every resource to follow the people everywhere around the country, do a wide consultation process, reach consensus, and include everyone. Those are the 3 main fundamentals of making a constitution. So what now? There's been division from the start. The church was vilified. The church was insulted. It was called corrupt names, everything. So which church is it that has endorsed the bill which they did not formulate? How do you endorse something that you did not formulate? You don't understand what it is. You don't even see how it's going to disadvantage even yourself. So this is where we are. And as we speak today, parliamentary procedure was defiled using this issue of having regazetted the bill. That's a wrong procedure. I've never heard it in the history of this country. It probably did happen at some point. I don't know whether it was in the 70s or something, if I'm not mistaken, but it was a wrong process because they can't secure the 2/3 majority. So they're trying to find shortcuts, endorsements. So you don't change the constitution by endorsement. You change the constitution by consulting widely, reaching a consensus, include everyone, and then now bring everything else from initially and bring it to debate. No, you don't start debating and then take to the people. Everything is going in this reverse. I don't know whether it's according to their song, but everything is working backwards. So we need to do the right thing here. And believe me, 50 years from now, your grandchildren will ask you, what did you do about this? And if you keep quiet, you are an accomplice to this. And we are not going to automatically an accomplice to this. We are going to stand by the truth and say what it is.
Yeah. Well, I hope it doesn't pass or come to that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lily. It was interesting tonight.
Have we lost her?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you are.
Sorry. I was saying that what we don't want is UPND members of parliament walking out. We need them to be dedicated and not walking out like they've normally stormed out of parliament.
I was told that them walking out was actually the best thing. Wasn't it the lawyer that you had the other day? He said he said something like it was the best for now.
I'll come in on that.
You can shed light. You can shed light on that.
So the walking out is simply a protest. It's a constitutional right. And the people have misunderstood it as running away from the problem. No, because in parliament, if you want to clearly, say we're not part of this, you can walk out, and that protest that will make sure that it secures no vote being tampered with or anything. Because if 50 people or 56 MPs have walked out, it means 56 votes are not guaranteed. So there's no way they can be tampering of any sort. So the walking out is being misinterpreted to, by propaganda to say they are running out from the problem. They don't want to debate. But what's the point of even debating something that should be undebatable?
Yeah.
So it's just you walking away from trouble and just avoiding an unnecessary debate and save time and look at other contentious issues that are very pertinent to the country. So the walking out is very clear to people. It's a constitutional right to walk out. It's a protest.
Yeah.
So you can protest by either going to where the problem is or walking away from where something is happening. It's a protest and it's constitutionally provided. So it's not wrong. It's just that people attach emotion to it and become illogical and start becoming petty about it. But it's not against the law. It's only on the part of those people that were in the parliamentary select committee. Those people according to the parliamentary proceedings, they have to be there. Those that were in the committee, they have to be there. But when it comes to the voting, they choose what to do, the right thing to do. But anyone who was not in the committee can walk out. It's allowed in Parliament. It's not against the parliamentary proceedings, the law or the standing orders. It's not against. So that's clearly what it is on that part.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Good to know.
Amazing. So tomorrow I hope you'll be back. So we talk about the voting. The voting that they only want us to register in October. And by the way, everyone, Joy is buying my flight to go to Zambia to go and register.
Hey. That's good.
He was asking me, are you going to Zambia? Are you going to Zambia? I was like, yes, if you buy my ticket.
No, you have to go.
When I told him.
Our voice does not have to be heard.
Yes, yeah. So it's been interesting, obviously. We started a bit late, but tomorrow we'll start earlier. We'll start at 6 p.m. We'll start at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Just that what the church has done, just, kind of like gingered me to start the live stream. And it was not planned, but tomorrow, I'm definitely planning the one for tomorrow. I'll set up everything and then you'll see the live stream there. Thank you so much for your help, your support. Mercy, are you part of our group, the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, I joined recently.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
so
Okay.
I'm there now. Yeah.
You're there. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. It's been an interesting discussion. We started with pastors are not happy. They feel betrayed that they are being told that they are part of the church that is endorsing Bill 10. Thank you so much for being with us. Until tomorrow, 6 p.m. Zambian time, so 5 p.m. British time, but 6 p.m. Zambian time. We'll live stream just to allow people to come on board. And we talk about the voting that has been talked about and the changes. People can only register as voters in the month of October. The whole idea of us having these live streams is to inform more people, tell them what's going on. Normally, I used to do live streams on Facebook, on YouTube, sorry. Because I know that Facebook has huge population. We are streaming on YouTube as well, so you can listen to what others would say. Remember, your voice matters. Don't feel intimidated. Some of them are receiving threats for just even commenting on my videos, telling them, you live in Zambia. Why do you want to be commenting on that girl? Look, we have our freedom of speech, and we've seen what has happened in the protest took place yesterday. Yesterday, had our own protest, but we can have our own peaceful protest. That inequality is what we're talking about. We've just read the statement from the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church is saying that there's inequality. People are not given human rights to do what they need to do as Zambians. So thank you so much. I don't know where the Christians are getting it from. The Christians are all Christian, but I don't know where they're getting this from, where they're even portraying their ignorance by saying, hey, if you're a Christian, you approve Bill 10. That's absolutely bogus. It just shows how shallow people are, and I'm sure some of them haven't even read what Bill 10 is. What is important to them is the money in their pocket. So thank you so much. It's a girl, Lelewa Terms, also known as Gelawapa said, Zambia. See you on my next video. I've also uploaded a video on my YouTube channel. For those of you who missed out the live stream on Facebook, it's there as well on my YouTube channel for you to see it. Thank you. And as we end our show, we end it with a song. Namu wanchinge ukufika nakana la tuluko shabaka fyenem foye baka fyenem foye Number one